What's up, cyberspace cadets? Fuji. We starting a little bit early today. I was hanging out with Brian and Wild Tanuki and stuff, and before we get going on the Tremors thing, we're just shooting the shit, talking about poetry, writing rhyming couplets and iambic pentameter and good poetry. I'm thinking about writing an ode to a clipped toenail.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Cyberspace cadets.
So
I think, you know, if you write me a bad enough poem, I will voice it. I'll do the voiceover for it.
okay, we can do that. Bad poetry, bad poetry is pretty easy. So it's not fucking rocket science.
No, it's not rocket science.
You're gonna get you a nice like little black shirt, the long sleeves, nice little beret. Get you a little scarf to toss over your shoulder.
Oh, we got Thorn Midnight stop by to say hi before work.
Hey,
well,
sweetheart, how
thanks,
you
Thorn.
doing, girl?
Or Miss Midnight, right? That's what she likes to be called.
Yeah, she doesn't mind. And there is the one called William. Hey, man, how you doing?
We got Silly Willy in the chat.
Silly Willy.
He's got bananas.
He got bananas.
B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
Oh, fuck.
N-A-N-A-N-A-S. B-A-N-A-S.
That song gets stuck in your head so fucking easy.
Dude, I literally just wrote fucking Poppy and Titanic Sinclair and asked them if I could use their music in my fucking bumper going in and going out of my shows. I'm so obsessed with Poppy's music, I can't get it out of my head.
It's good stuff.
Man,
I've never listened to Poppy.
it's the best.
I know who she is. I just never bothered to listen to her.
Man, Low Life is a great reggae song, man. You are the highlight of my low life. And let's see, where's my microphone? Perfect J-pop, good stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so a lot of what Poppy does, right? And this is no longer a Tremors review. We're just talking Poppy, just so you guys know.
All right.
It's going to become an hour-long conversation.
It's an hour-long about Poppy.
It's my
Fuck.
I Brian introduced Tanuki to Poppy. That's what the stream is now.
So basically, a lot of Poppy's music is supposed to be ironic and making fun of the pop industry, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like me, like writing poetry or something like that.
Exactly.
I'm down with ironic shit.
Yeah,
it's
meta. You know, you're right. Meta irony. Keep going, Brian.
Oh, well, I mean, that's really about it.
Hour-long conversation narrowed down to a fucking sentence.
Well, what they did was after a while that they had they have a record deal with Island Records, right? And so they cut a first album, which was really well produced, I thought, and the hit off of it was the one I was telling you about. Was You're the Highlight of My Low Life, and it's got all this Illuminati imagery and shit in it, man. It's really cool. It's a good song, man. Fuck, I thought it was like I was gonna hate it and shit. I'm like, God damn, this is pretty good reggae.
Well, there's Poppy has a lot of lore behind her, Yeah.
Like,
there's a whole side story and everything, but I don't know that we want to go into that.
Well, transdimensional Alex Jones did a piece on her, man, and did he? Yeah, he thought that she might have been being held against her will and stuff, and his investigative powers, he deducted that she is completely there of her free will, and she's making money the best way she can. She thinks
Poppy is Lord. Everyone knows that.
She's awesome, man.
Yeah, she
and
you
can't get that shit out of your head, man. Where is my microphone? Yeah, and then they went over to Japan and studied J-pop. So they came out back and they did all these songs that have this really fun J-pop kind of beat to it. It's good stuff. I recommend it.
I guess I'm just gonna have to start listening to Poppy tonight.
Yeah, now you're gonna say maybe that after you listen to it. Remember, man, I fucking met Lemmy. Okay, I'm coming out of the school of Motorhead, punk rock. Anything heavy duty, I'm into it. But this pop music hit me. The good pop is really hard to do.
It's a dead art.
Indeed, man. You know, Cheap Trick was really good at doing really good pop music. You know, I call it some of their songs. It's a good psychedelic pop. Um,
Yeah, I've always seen it as if music is truly done well, then it doesn't matter what genre it is, you'll like it.
Yep, exactly. And that's the point. You know, there's really some good country out there. There's great classical. I'm a fan of classical. There's great art rock. You know, every genre has its awesomeness, man. There's great actual rap music. There's great hip hop. And, you know, and then majority of it is bullshit, you know, and I'm talking every genre, you know, it's mass production.
It's like, you got to find the gems and all the bullshit.
Right. And true art will transcend and withstand a test of time every time. And that, you know, that stuff that you hear from the 50s that is still good, you know, fucking Little Richard, you know, that withstands the test of time. He was fucking great, man. Bam boom tutti frutti. Man, that song will get you going right there, man. It's got that.
Yeah, I remember playing that.
Dude, like you hear like a great swing song. So,
yeah, man, exactly.
I remember playing that as a kid because, you know, My Little Toaster, the movie, how they had that song in there. I begged my parents. I was like, we gotta have that song, and so they bought a Little Richard tape, you know, back in the days of tape, and the only part I wanted to listen to over and over again was that song.
It's great, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I annoyed the shit out of my parents. My dad, no, we can't listen to it again.
Well,
no.
All right, so when I was a kid, you know, was when the fucking Partridge Family was out and stuff, and there was this song that called "I Woke Up in Love with This Morning," right? And I swear to God, when I was a kid, I had the 45, right, old 7-inch 45, and I woke up every morning like 6 o'clock in the morning and put that song on. And I was like 4 or 5 years old. I was a kid, and my parents started getting so mad at me, man, because I did it every goddamn morning. For like it seemed like a long time, but it was probably about a week is all they could probably stand of it. And that record just disappeared for some reason. I don't know where it went. Mom threw that shit in the trash.
Guarantee.
Yeah, no doubt. Say hi. Well, you want to say hi to some folks in the Thrax Sable Scales, man? What's happening? Hannibal O'Neill said hey to William. Sir Adamantine, greetings, sir. Everybody's favorite Griffin with the huge black bar. Jacob, hey man, Jacob Navo. All right, so we're here. We're gathered here today to talk about the movie Tremors. Tremors, the sixth in the Tremors series. This is the sixth film. It's called Tremors: A Cold Day in Hell.
Now, when it comes to Tremors, you know, this is a quality Tremors film. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say it starts out like a lot of movies and stuff. You know, there's the opening scene that introduces us to, you know, where our protagonists are going to end up being, out in the middle of nowhere. You know, kind of like the opening scene in The Thing, and there's an homage to that. If you'll notice, there's those dogs are running and shit, right? And so you know, we're out in the middle of nowhere in the Arctic. They're drilling and coring some stuff, and they strike something that, and it looks like this weird, ugly yellow shit starts popping up, and apparently, you know, they popped into to one of the creatures, and for the record, the creatures are known as graboids. Okay, and they're gigantic worm-like creatures. What, you know, Tanuki, man, you're the expert on this thing. Talk to us. Tell us about the graboids, man.
Oh man, this is one of my favorite subjects. Graboids, just subterranean giant fucking worm-like creatures they'll eat the shit out of everything that they hear that vibrates. Whether it be cars, dogs, people, anything under the sun. And it's slowly introduced through the course of the first 3 movies of the entire evolution of these creatures, where it starts off with the standard graboid, where you have the great first movie with Valentine, Earl, all of them, great cast. And it goes into the second film where they're in Mexico, fighting the second stage of them, the Screechers, who hunt down using infrared vision. Then it goes into the final stage, which is arguably most people's favorite, the Ass Blaster, where they take flight using wings after they shake their ass real hard and shit out flames that launch them in the air like a goddamn rocket.
All right, here's a question, okay? So is this like an evolutionary thing that all these creatures are going through, or are there like 3 different species or 3 different...
No. It starts with the worm, and then it leads to the creature. It's like after they've eaten so much, they like go into a coma-like state for a bit and then produce eggs inside their stomach that create the Screecher. Then eventually the Screechers like eat enough where they kind of like wilt, like they take their husk off and they grow wings and shit.
Right.
So it's like somehow they take what they eat and then they grow, like they go to the next stage.
Yeah. So like the big version of them, you could call it like reverse larva form, right? So the big version that eats everything is the final stage that lays the eggs, but the when the husk wilts, they sort of turn into those flying ass blaster things.
Right.
And the idea is that they can go over any terrain, really. It's like they can go through the earth. They can walk on land if there's rocks in the way that they can't dig through. And then if they have to, then they can fly over like rivers and shit.
Just so you all know, this is legitimate science. If you say otherwise,
I have a degree.
Tanuki here is a biologist.
He's a graboidologist. No, he's
graboidologist,
that's a specialized. Yes.
I was going to say specializing in graboids, but I mean graboidologist works too.
Graboidology.
Do graboids eat tweakers? This is from William Stenchover. This is yes, they will. They have in the past, at least on. We have video footage of it. It's evidence.
See. At one point, they ate an Asian man.
Hold on. It's not tweakers. It's twerkers.
Oh.
Yeah. That's the difference.
They'll eat a fat ass.
Right.
Yeah. So, I guess they.
And then there's the tweak and twerkers, or the twerk and tweakers, depending on what you want to talk about. But okay. So we've gotten past that question. Thanks, William. Is a good question, I think.
But yeah, it's this. They do this so they can go over any type of terrain. So they can do the classic animal thing, which is they want to spread their species. Right. At the end of the day, you really have to look at it like that, where these things are just acting off standard animal instinct. They're just big fucking animals, big fucking predators.
Right.
So it's scary, but you got to look at them as if you're hunting a lion. Like, yeah, it's fucking dangerous, but you just got to know how to go about it.
Yeah. So the whole sound thing, I did notice in this movie that the rules of sound seem to change a little bit.
It's movie 6. We got Jamie Kennedy at this point.
Yeah,
Jamie Kennedy. Yeah, I know, man.
This is a pocket universe of the original movie, right?
I think what he's alluding to is that the actor the scale of actor has gone from Kevin Bacon to now the Kevin Bacon part is now being played by Jamie Kennedy. All right, so
yeah. Well,
I mean, they really tried to sell like other people as the main protagonist, but in the end, Burt Gummer is just the lead protagonist in every single movie in every show.
That's true.
Yeah,
everybody loves.
It's goddamn DARPA.
Yeah, Gummer's the
I have balls of stainless steel.
Exactly. Well,
my balls are in the Guinness World Book of Records.
It's played by Michael Gross, the dad from Family Ties. So this guy's got a lot of history with people. Well, you know, he's instantly recognizable. Even who knows how old this fucker is, man? He's got to be in his 70s or early 80s at this point.
He's been doing this. The first movie came out, I want to say, in 1990 or around that time.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been doing this. Actually, it might have been earlier than that. I'll have to check this out.
Yeah, the Tremors came out in 1990. Yeah, I'm looking at and then
so almost 30 years he's been doing this.
Right. Aftershocks came out in 96.
Arguably, Tremors 2 Aftershock is the best Tremors film.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, it's Tremors 2, Tremors, then everything else in their proper order.
Boy, you're gonna have to fight me IRL.
Am I?
Well,
Tremors 1 for life.
My only was me too, because the only deal is that Tremors 1 kind of sets the template for the rest of them, right? And without that, we don't have anything to go on from it. But other than that, but Tanuki is, you know, he's definitely got a point, you know, that Tremors 2, they kind of upped their game. They had a little bit more budget to play with, and the effects were a little bit better.
It was a little bit more tense.
Yeah, and
because they're in most shots at night.
Yeah, and exactly. Who was that director? Because you got me thinking about it, and right, it's at night this time. And let's see, the Fred Ward is in that one.
Director is S.S. Wilson.
S.S. Wilson. I don't know who this is, which is maybe that's a pseudonym. No, Stephen Seth Wilson, American screenwriter and cult of mainstream science fiction. He's done Tremors, blah blah blah, Stampede Entertainment. So he's written for like Short Circuit, the movie, Batteries Not Included, Short Circuit 2, Tremors, Ghost Dad. And then he's written Tremors. He wrote the Wild Wild West reboot.
Oh God!
Yeah, Tremors 3.
This resume, man.
He was behind the Tremors TV series, and then his last was Tremors 4. And he produced Tremors 3 and 4 in the original, and he directed Tremors 2 and 4. So. Yeah,
I just want to put this out there that Jamie Kennedy is still the least talented actor in this movie.
Yeah, no. Well, and the deal is that usually when you get to this level of film, you start running into these Canadian character actors that are really pretty damn decent, you know.
Yeah. Except for the first couple when they're trying to do accents and they're all fucking terrible.
Yeah, when they're like being Canadians, they're good. You know, if they try to go outside of that, man, they're gonna really shit the bed on that. And say hey to Gulf City Streaming, what's up? You get a wrench for that. You're now modded, my man.
But yeah, the entire film of it in of itself is trying way too hard. So we're totally not in a desert right now.
Well, I'm just gonna say. So they said I'm hoping the Tremor series is good like Ash vs. Evil Dead. Well, Ash vs. Evil Dead is fantastic, and you might want to stop the Tremor series at about 3 and then restart it at 6.
Well, and the Evil Dead, man, they did it wonderfully, didn't they? Sam Raimi is a genius all in his own, and I did a complete review of the movie. This I think it's pretty unsung. The Drag Me to Hell. And that's something that I can
Great
talk about all day long, all right? Because Sam Raimi, you know, he did Evil Dead on a shoestring budget. Even had some stop action like effects because he couldn't do the real thing with makeup, which was excellent. And then, you know, the second one, which was really just a remake of the first one with a really good budget, and of course Army of Darkness, which was a wonderful film, and it gives us wonderful quotes like "Give me some sugar," and of course Uzi Q still hears that shit to this day.
Yeah, growing up, like watching Evil Dead, I had all three of those movies on repeat, and on weekends I just like pop the first one in, go all the way through it while I'm just doing miscellaneous stuff. And I just pop in the next one, and just go right back around to it.
Exactly. So I think so. The reason we're talking about this is that we're doing a contrast franchise-wise between the Tremors and what the Evil Dead did, and then the Evil Dead did their reboot, which was a completely serious approach to that first movie, which was was serious too. And they did an excellent job on it. So I think
you're talking about the TV series, right?
No. I'm talking about the Evil Dead remake.
Yeah. Or it's like alternate universe Ash.
Yeah.
Weird. When did that come out?
About
a couple years ago.
3 or 4 years ago. Let me look. I'll look it up, man.
Sure. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of that just due to the how the comics are.
2013. Yeah.
Because how the comics are with the Evil Dead, it's like there's an Ash in every universe. And they all end up with like special powers in their right hand. But Ash doesn't have that power because he cut it off.
Oh, the Omni-Ashniverse is what you're talking about?
Yeah. Oh man, those were good comics.
Oh, wait. Anyway, so why don't we dig into the actual the meat of this here Tremors movie?
Okay. All right. You want to start? Since I babbled for a wee bit, talk about the opening, introducing us to the Arctic climb.
Okay, why don't we start with that? The Arctic scene here.
The Arctic desert.
I love Arctic deserts, man. It was beautiful.
It was so great.
AKA tundra.
A tundra where you're kicking up snow as if it were sand. Oh, like they almost put a filter over it.
You know,
no shit.
Weird. It's super weird that it looks that way.
And then everything else is just dirt shots.
Yeah, like it's like halfway through, or not even halfway, like 10 minutes into the movie, they just forgot where they were filming and decided it was Arizona. You know? Like,
yeah, pretty much. And then they just like had like snow spots all over the place.
You got people running around in snow, or like what you would consider the northern half of America style snow gear, not even like Canadian style snow gear in the beginning, and then all of a sudden they just drop the act and people are wearing tank tops and stuff.
Shit.
The fucking John Denver vests.
Right? Oh man. But I do want to say, like I said, when it comes to the cinematography, I don't know what kind of budget they had, but the guy in charge of it was Hein de Vos. Let's see, what else? What other movies has he done? He did Homeland, he did Blood Drive, he did District 9. Wow. Cool. I am sort of, yeah, how the mighty have fallen, man. Holy shit.
Sometimes you just gotta take what you can get. That's what you gotta do.
So he did the cinematography on District 9, right? So
let me double check here, because that was just a quick look.
Well, I was going to say Neil Blomkamp's got a company that's based out of Canada now, so that doesn't surprise me. And the name escapes me, but they're doing a lot of neat stuff with CGI, and what they're doing is they're doing tests. They're doing like 20-minute videos and testing to see if people want to see more of it or something. And Oats Studios is the name of the place, and it's on. They've got a thing on YouTube, man. It's fantastic. I recommend that. Let me see something here. I'm gonna see if we can pull up some.
Well, as for like the graphics as well, I did notice that their budget didn't permit them to destroy a plane.
Yeah, I love when they're flying in and the plane gets all janky. It's obviously a model because there's no plane that flies like that doesn't crash.
Right? It looked like it was on a string.
Well, it looked like a Piper Cub to me, man. It was.
Hold on 1 second. I had to take care of something.
Okay.
Yep. But yeah, so basically, the only thing, if you really, throughout the movie, the only thing that really gets destroyed are like a couple of storage containers, basically. So, other than that, it's pretty much all CGI. And I really, really, really loved the parts where the graboids underground were coming at people, but they like slow-mo'd it a little bit, and they kept using the same clip to give the people enough time to run to certain areas, you know? So that was pretty funny to me. And I think it really added a lot to the movie's character.
Well, I'm sorry, dude. I was distracted, man. Hannibal O'Neill, you're funny as shit. Kevin Bacon, his name is Islamophobic, and he had to change his name to Kevin Turkey Bacon so he wouldn't be murdered.
Yikes. Well, takes. No. Hot take.
That's a hot take, baby.
It's a hot take.
Alright, so the plane was about to crash, and that was when I left.
Yeah, we're just talking about hot takes now. So yeah, the slow-mo of the graboid under the underground coming at people, that was funny as shit to me, because it literally, like, in the first movie, second movie, even third movie, they had some relative timing as to, like, you could sort of estimate how long it was going to take for the graboid to get to the person. But in this one, it was just however long we decide, you know?
Well, like I said, Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah. I mean,
that is the set bar.
Pretty much, you can say Jamie Kennedy about anything in this film, though.
I know.
Like, it's just Jamie Kennedy. You know, I mean, don't get me started. A rant on Jamie Kennedy would be bad, because
that is a review within itself.
Well, it is a review.
Given the situation, you know, I think he did okay. You know,
no, Jamie Kennedy is never okay.
No. For Jamie Kennedy, I'm not saying he did okay for, like, you know, anybody that's got any kind of standards.
Do this to me, Irate. Don't do it. Irate, you never go full Jamie Kennedy. You know this.
Shit.
You're just going to end up with shitty acting.
You just broke Brian's heart.
Horrible pun jokes constantly.
His horrible pickle heart.
Oh, I went too far. I think I bruised his prostate.
Oh no. You know I still have my behind. Come on, man.
Oh, I thought that was your name.
It can be.
Oh, Jesus.
Hey, we got Accelerate in the chat.
Accelerate, dude. What's happening?
So yeah. I mean, God, you had to do this to me, Irate. Now I'm started out Jamie Kennedy.
You broke him. He's a broken man now.
His face looks like a flattened diamond. It just literally goes into neck. His head looks like a thumb, and if he were bald, he would be, you know, the epitome of a thumb.
Well, he's on his way, don't you think, man?
I do think so. That's some sad side hair he's growing there.
No shit.
You know.
Shave that motherfucker. That's what I say.
Jesus Christ. And he can't grow a beard. Look at that. Sad. The man is sad. His life is sad.
I say beat Mother Nature to the punchline and shave it. God damn.
Right?
You know?
Hold on.
At least Michael Gross had the balls to do it, you know?
Yeah. If you're going to start going, then just go for it.
Exactly, man.
Well, you know that Michael Gross looks completely different in everything else he does. And
I know.
Of course.
I saw him without a mustache. It was so weird.
Yeah, he don't look right without it, man. That's true.
Yeah,
Like, as far as I'm concerned, he does no other movies aside from Tremors. That's just how I view Michael Gross.
That's how you choose to live your life, eh?
Yeah,
well,
pretty much.
I would
Fair
imagine.
enough.
I would imagine that when it comes to the budget, when it comes to the actors part of the budget, a majority of that is going to, he's going to get the biggest cut out of all of them. I mean, because he is the draw. He is the Ash of the Tremors movies. I mean, for all intents and purposes, I mean,
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I do agree with that for Gross. I don't know why. I for some reason I was thinking you were talking about Jamie Kennedy.
Oh God, no!
Oh God,
no!
Why?
No.
But yeah, no. Yeah, I agree. Burt Gummer is Tremors.
Yeah, you cannot have a Tremors film without him.
Exactly.
I really hope that a movie number 7 comes out and it's called Burt Gummer, The Tremors Apocalypse, and it's just him screaming Burt Gummer lines while Tremors pop up everywhere.
No.
I'd watch the crap out of every second of that. Here's
the deal. Burt Gummer starts becoming one of the graboids. He's like a fusion version of a graboid and Burt Gummer. And,
it's like he has to go fight the King Graboid. Part of him becomes one, and then he digs underground.
Right, and then it gets to the point of where he can't hold onto the rifle, and at that moment, he loses all of his humanity, and he begs somebody to shoot him at that point.
I was thinking something along the lines of he goes in and he fights the graboid just out of instinct of his entire life fighting them, and him and the original graboid just kill each other.
Yeah, even have like the first half of a movie be like him fighting a graboid like it's in a regular movie, but it's really in his head, right?
Oh.
And it's him like fighting the graboid within,
Yeah, and then it pans out the very last minute where he wins, and it's just him just lying in a hospital bed as the monitor goes out.
2020, the Burt Gummer Graboid transition, coming to a theater near you.
AKA Metamorphosis.
I was thinking something along the lines of Tremors 7, The Ballad of Burt Gummer.
The Ballad of Burt Gummer.
I like it.
I do too, man.
I think we can make this happen. Are we allowed to just cut out clips from different Tremors movies and put it together as a YouTube video? I think we can do this.
People have done that before, anyways.
Oh man. And even my brain started going in a totally different way, and like, imagine these movies if Kafka had written them.
Oh, they'd be way better. That's for sure.
Definitely be
These
stranger.
movies are perfect.
Oh, they're great, man. They're good, especially the first two, man. They're really good popcorn. Have fun. I remember the first time Uzi Q and I saw it. It was a delight. It was one of those where it's like, okay, it looks like it's going to be a cow. And at some point, I hated cowboy movies, and then all of a sudden I changed, and there's like a couple that I really like now. But
it was Godless. Godless did it, didn't it?
Well, no, actually, it was High Plains Drifter.
Nice.
And that's another story all on its own. But so I'm thinking, oh fuck, this is going to be another Western type movie, with Fred Ward and Kevin Bacon, and then all these, and then this shit, then it does the little flip around where it's like, holy shit, this is about fucking weird ass worms, man, and shit. It's like it had me, because it was just so weird.
It's just slightly off reality that makes it fun.
Right, exactly, and they throw just enough of like you know, they've got everybody that you know in those first two movies, man. You know, every character is based on somebody that everybody knows, right?
Yeah, it's like you got the asshole little kid, you got the single parent working mom,
Exactly.
you got the down the corner store shopkeep, then like the two handymen that go around helping out the neighborhood.
Right, and like to drink a lot, you know.
Yeah. It's just they hit all these good points, and it's really nice. And you just feel connected to like the whole thing, like right off the bat. Like, oh yeah. I know these people.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know why Netflix is, or sorry, why this movie is a perfect Netflix movie, right? Because it gets the coveted Netflix and Chill Award. It meets all the criteria. Think about it. It's scary, right? Just enough for that woman to jump on into your arms while sitting on the same couch.
The plot is minute enough that you can follow without thinking about it.
Exactly. You can literally start banging in the beginning of the movie and end, 4 minutes later and not lose anything.
I'm not gonna lie, it took me watching this 3 times to get through this whole thing, because at the time it was like Saturday at 1 a.m. after getting off the phone with Brian, and so of course we were both drinking, and I was watching this and I fell asleep at every third of the movie.
Yeah,
so
man, me too.
A third of the way through, I fell asleep, and then I woke back up again. Oh, I gotta find that part again. And I watched the third more. I fell asleep, and I watched the last third.
Yeah.
See, this is just another testament to the coveted Netflix and Chill Award that it's getting.
Dude,
it really is.
Well, it's like the same thing happened. I'm not sure if it was Saturday night, but it was either Saturday or Sunday night. No, it was Friday or Saturday night, because we had just Brian and I talked about it. We realized that we needed to pick something, so we picked this one.
Look, you can say it, IRATE. I'm a stoner, and I forgot to put up the poll.
Well, I wasn't gonna, man. I'm not. I don't give my people up. Fuck that. But and it was like, and we knew that Tanuki wanted to, talk about this, so it was like, God damn, this is a perfect opportunity, man. So let's just do it. Damn it. And so I watched it that night, and I kept falling asleep too, but not because I was drunk or anything. It's because I'm fucking old. And if it's not there to grab my brain, at certain times, I'm gonna just go, and nod off, because I'm an old man. But I got the chance. I watched it again. I stayed up really late last night. Watched everything that was on rerun from like Colony and shit. I really love that show. And then after that, Onyekwe went to bed, and I put this on and finally got a chance to watch it through the whole, again, from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And so it was, I wanted it fresh in my mind, because I do that. I watch at least everything that we talk about at least twice. Because,
oh, man.
Well, no, man.
You watched Berserk twice?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
No. That's I think that's fine, man. He had to watch what was that the live action with the iron people in it, the
oh my God, Full Metal Alchemist.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus
Christ. That's
Christ.
terrible. I can't believe you watched
That is one of the worst adaptations I've ever seen.
I'd
in my
rather,
entire
dude,
life. It is so terrible compared to the source.
I should have just stuck my dick in a blender and gotten it over with, man.
You should have.
I mean,
Yeah,
really.
you should
go do that right now.
No.
Shame with the spray.
No. Onyekwe would not appreciate that. This thing's got mileage, still to go on it. Miles to go before it sleeps. So.
It needs a little tune up every once in a while.
Speaking of poetry.
So where were we at in the plot?
Well, we're at where the people are fighting the graboids, basically, right?
They make an underground electric fence. Which, if you think if you actually think about that for longer than half a second, you realize that makes literally no sense.
Right, because
Yeah,
it'll ground
It's
itself
like,
out.
How do you make an underground electric fence when you've grounded the entire electrical works?
Well, see, Tanuki, the way you do it is you got to use those special graphics so you can see the electricity running down the wires into the ground.
Oh, my mistake.
And that's how you electrify a fence, because, you know, as long as you can do that, then...
I mean, it's not like an electric fence, it's just wires that have an electric current through it. You don't actually see the electricity on it at all.
No. Well, I mean, this is a special
There's no arc off the wires.
Well, look, I mean, this is one of those special Tremors universe things that clearly is explained by science.
Indeed.
Yeah, just like the potato gun spear launcher in 3.
Yes, it is. And
That was
ass
cool as shit,
blasters.
though. That shit was cool as hell, though, when he was shooting, like, flaming spears at things with a potato gun.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, the underground electrical fence, I'm like,
It's like the first time, like, I was just out of it enough where I just didn't even think about it. Then I watched it when I was sober, and then I just stopped for a second. And go, no.
Also, you know, if that graboid, there was that part where they were drilling in the water, remember? And the graboid comes out and eats that lady.
Yeah. And that was a great way to not put any graphics on screen for the graboid.
Yeah, but I mean, logically, I was thinking, well, but wait, if this graboid just tunneled a big ass hole, wouldn't all the water like drain?
Yeah.
Like
Exactly, man.
There's stuff at this point. It's just, if you think about it for a half second, it's just, it makes no sense.
Bro, she was Jello. She was swimming in Jello. That's what it was.
It was like partially from Jello.
Oh, yeah.
But still, this movie has one of my favorite scenes of all time: the stainless steel balls.
Oh yeah, the 5 little clack balls where you don't.
Well, no, I was talking about the scene where the guy's like running away, he's freaking out. Then Burke goes, "Listen to me. If you want to survive, you guys be exactly like me. Now say it. I have balls of stainless steel.
Yeah.
My balls are in the Guinness Book of Record of balls."
Dude, I thought you were talking about that.
Don't get me wrong, that's a great scene too.
Yeah.
But the stainless steel ball one was amazing.
Oh man, that was good.
Mega quotes, awesome quotage, nice.
I do like in the intro of the movie too how they made a reference to Jamie Kennedy's acting career and how he said it didn't work out. You know, he's like, I went to Hollywood. Oh, it didn't work out.
No shit. Well, you know, at least they can laugh at itself. You know what I'm saying? So, man, nobody's hitting that like button either. Come on, hit the like button.
Yeah,
you know you like this. You know you like it.
Jesus Christ.
You know you like it.
You're
Come
terrible
on.
people.
Click it. Anyway, and make sure you subscribe to Big Fat Brian and Wild Tanuki. These are good people. We just
this is true.
Who have a massive love for good entertainment, and we'll take the hit so you won't have to. Just remember that should be our slogan. Is that we'll take that hit so you don't have to.
I like slogos.
Slogo. I'm tripping.
Lego, my slogo.
Dude, I did a lot of acid, man, back in the day. I'm not saying it's an excuse, but yeah, it's an excuse.
Don't worry, I did a lot of Diet Coke, and that did the same thing. Basically.
without the fun,
yeah.
without the visuals. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or audios, man. All right, so and then there comes the scene where they, you know, they making a reference to this old way where they used to Air America used to like pick up from during the Vietnam War. They would pick up like information and bags of heroin and stuff with that hook method that the lady in the airplane uses, right? So they sling that final the graboid. They use it to pick the graboid up and then just sling it into the into the box.
Good Lord, that was magical.
Yeah, that was a great idea,
but it's like then you have to have the windows breaking on top because every steel container has windows on the top of it for some reason.
Exactly.
And just to show how like deep it is in the container.
That was, and then she goes, "Let it go now," and boom, it was right on time, and that thing perfectly just flies in there, and it's like, stuff like that rarely ever works out. When I do it, at least when I do it, you know.
Well,
like,
I mean,
when you go fishing for giant worms on the ground.
Yeah.
When I try to do, like, you know, when I try to throw a fucking, you know, wadded up paper in a goddamn trash can, I can't fucking make it, you know. Well, you know,
go ahead.
I'm just saying that's a realistic example of like how something like that probably would not work in reality. But that's what the movies. That's why we have to suspend disbelief.
It's about escapism.
Yeah, exactly.
It is. It really is.
Especially this kind of movie, with the it's got a good. You give it one thing, man. I like to look at the way that gags and comedy is pulled off, and it's real rhythmic oriented. You know, it's real rhythmically oriented, it is quickly paced. There are a couple of lulls in it, but the lulls don't last too long. You know, they do try to keep it moving. And if it's not, you know, moving with action, they're keeping it moving with the patter between each other. You know, talking.
Yeah, it's like the scene where the guy's pissing off the tower.
Yeah,
and,
that was funny.
And the girl's over there looking through the sniper scope. She goes, "Not bad."
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing I want to say about this. They were on point with the hot girls. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, no shit, man.
Even though the one had kind of a lazy eye.
And the other one had that weird cleft lip.
Remember the old school, the original Pamela Anderson, man? She's Canadian. And she is a perfect example before all the plastic surgery and shit ruined her. She's the perfect example of what a gorgeous blonde Canadian woman can look like.
You mean she didn't look good in barbed wire?
Dude, she before that, man, you should really look at her early pictures of her when she did her first stuff in Playboy, and I'm talking about the clothes stuff even. She was just beautiful, man, and she was perfectly proportioned and shit. Very beautiful. So I've got an eye for, you know, beauty and shit, and that's one thing. That blonde was right. She was spot fucking.
Oh
on,
yeah,
man.
she's super cute.
Yep, indeed. So if you need
like,
something,
I just jumped on it real quick on the Google machine. Yeah, she looked great.
So did we have the cardinal rule of horror movies that you can't be a Chad or you die in this movie? Because I think that basically, I mean, Burt Gummert's the ultimate Chad. He's like a level 20 Chad.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's like Ash. Once again, there's an Ash, you know, parallel here with this guy, man. Yeah, he's a Chad level. An Ash level Chad. So I mean, what do you call
nothing
that?
but rolling 20s.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, I don't know if we can say he's an Ash level Chad. Ash literally fights demons.
That's true.
You know.
That's true. Well, these are pretty badass little creatures, man, and I'm sure that
the reason why he's up there with Ash is because Burt has like every amount of skill in the world when it comes to like survival and tactics and all that behind him.
Fair enough.
So it balances out.
Did anyone, really, really like that worm science where he was infected with, I don't know, worm parasites?
From being inside of it in the first movie?
Yeah, and he needed the antibodies from a glandular sac. I just thought, I was like, wow, that's sciencey. I really like that science there.
It's the same thing as like they're looking at through a microscope that has no like slide in it.
No, they do. Yeah,
There was no. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I noticed that too, man. I'm like going, okay.
It's just like, as long as you have stuff like, oh, we have the mass spectrometer here. You know how it works? No.
No.
Oh,
Super sciencey though.
I know. We are just about that time, IRATE, for our call-in section.
All right, and if all right, fuck. Excuse my language there, America, and I will put.
Oh God, my virgin ears.
I know, man. Let's do. I'm gonna do a.
Oh, I also like the fact that they made one of the girls Val's daughter.
Yes, the cleft palate girl.
Yeah, that's also the one with the lazy eye.
Oh,
Lazy eye and a cleft palate.
wow! And yet
What are they
she's so
saying?
hot.
What are they saying?
I'd bang.
Same. She's
I'd
cute.
I'd look her right in her lazy eye.
All right. All right. I did put a Discord link in the description. So if you want to hop in, and we're going to start taking calls, as they say, as a metaphoric calls. Just hop in the Discord, and then we'll yank you in the room. We'll talk a little bit, and then we'll kick you out. So come on in and feel welcome, and come in and talk about this wonderful fun we're having.
I do have to say, I like the part where they tried to like harken back to the original Tremors, where she had to lose her pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, the girl's like on there, and she's like, "Take your pants off." No. And she goes, "Why not?" "Because I didn't wear underwear today."
And she was saved by a fucking awesome shot, or actually 3 shots that were pretty good.
Yeah.
So
I like they also had the most Mexican-looking Samoan there.
Yeah,
Well, not Samoan, but,
that was great.
Yeah, it's like he's our local guide. Nice dude.
Yeah,
And he's like carrying a Indian war club that does not match that region at all.
right, with a weird pocket knife strapped to the top.
Right, exactly. The indigenous, the northern indigenous
well, that's
tribes.
that's a throwing club. It's just that that's not from that region at all. At all.
Yeah, I was going to say that's not the right type of art, the way that they styled it. But we got JoJo, aka Jacob Navo, in the waiting room. You want to pull him in? Ready?
Hold on one second. What's up, JoJo? You're in here now.
Hey, Brian.
Yo.
Hey, man, you sound good.
The science about the worms in this movie made Full Metal Alchemist seem almost smart.
Oh, that's a tall order there.
How dare you? This is way better than Full Metal Alchemist. Come on now.
Well, I mean,
he was just saying the science.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was a good movie.
Oh yeah, I love movies like this just for the fact of it's a fluff piece. Let's be honest.
Right.
It's just something you can get brain dead and escape
movie.
into.
You know, well, sometimes, man, you have just got to just fucking say fuck the planet, turn everything off, and watch a fucking totally brainless movie. You know, and just something to turn your head off for a little bit, and just laugh and shit at stupid stuff. You know, maybe eat a little popcorn or something. You know, do some
Watch some Alpha Chad Gummer.
Yeah, man, and laugh your ass off and have fun, man, with the movie that's impossible, but it's what the fuck. You know, isn't that what movies are about? You know, to get out of reality.
Exactly.
You know,
But Jamie Kennedy should not have been in this one.
Jamie Kennedy shouldn't have been a Kenyan.
Yeah, Jamie Kennedy shouldn't be acting. Is the real answer here?
It's like, maybe Malibu's Most Wanted, I'll let him get away with something, because it was kind of funny, But that's about it.
Oh no!
It would have been better if Kevin Bacon would have been in it.
They cannot afford Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, I don't think they had the budget for that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they had the budget, it would been even better. Considering this could have been the last. This is probably the last movie, and you start with Kevin Bacon and the old guy, and you end with them.
Well, yeah, you know what? To be honest with y'all, I think they were setting Jamie Kennedy up as to be the lead in the next couple of movies. At some point,
I think they were too.
yeah, he's going to be receiving the baton at some point. And maybe those parasites that y'all were talking about earlier is leading up to maybe a scenario that I had talked about earlier, where it's Gummer fighting the worms, and maybe becoming one of those things.
It's like The Last Stand.
Yeah, he has. I see it now. Tremors 8. He has to kill his own father.
Kill your dad.
Oh my!
Just tell Heather it was all me. It was all my fault.
I'm your father.
That just sounds
falls in
scary.
love with the lazy eye girl.
Well, he can't fall in love with the lazy eye girl because he's in love with the Swedish chick.
Yeah.
I mean, another one.
Swedish.
You know how these movies go.
The budget seems like it barely existed.
Yeah. I mean, it. I don't know how much the budget was on this one. I tried to look it up, but I think that this is this a Netflix original movie?
Yeah, they're posting as a Netflix original, just like Origins.
Yeah, because a lot of Netflix original movies, they don't release the budget because they don't want you to judge the film. Like, so a lot of
Just like the ratings.
Yeah, they don't release they changed the rating system
Because of Amy Schumer.
That's Dual Will said something really funny. He said Jamie Kennedy was Seth Green's failed clone.
That's true.
Maybe he was.
Very, very true.
Seth Green feels like a David Spade clone.
Who?
You see, that's how it works.
It's a clone inside of a clone inside of a clone.
Cloneception.
You clone David Spade, and there's a little bit of genetic drift there, and then you clone him again, and from the one with genetic drift, and you got even more, and that's how you got thumb-faced Jamie Kennedy.
Oh man, that is so whack. Well, JoJo, what you got? Any more comments about the movie?
Well, I mean, I just felt weird how they call it A Cold Day in Hell.
Yeah, I mean, I was wondering that too, man, because it was just like it didn't seem like it was very cold. I guess they're just going to force us to accept that as being the North, which is it may be the tundra, because parts of the tundra do look like look desert-esque. They've got shale and stuff, and there's miles and miles of shit. And that reminds me, there was a great series that we might want to look at called The Terror, and I'll talk to you about that after the show.
Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? So we'll
Ridley Scott made a good horror show that somehow ended up looking like Alien again.
And it was real. That really happened. That's that.
Yep.
But they don't know what happened with the people. But that was the true situation. Anyway, coming back to we're looking at the last 5 minutes. So Jacob. So
I would give it a 6 out of 10.
Okay. All right. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and pop you out. And thanks, man. And we'll see you next time. All right.
Okay. Bye.
All right. And all right, guys, it is that time. Tanuki, as the resident expert, I'm going to let you pontificate a little bit and tell the people out there why they should love the Tremors and why they should see every bit of it, even the TV series.
Well, the reason why is because sometimes you just need a show that they throw some of the rules out And it's just a mindless indulgence. You just go in, you watch it, you get like the idea of the world, you have a concept of things, but they just keep it simple. And that's really what Tremors is. It's a simple concept, and they keep it like that throughout the entire series. They add little things to it each time. And really, the thing you want to see most is what's he going to do next? How is he going to take care of this problem? How is he going to do this? Then they even in Tremors 3, they essentially like take away all of Bert's guns, all of that, and he has to do what's on him at the time. And they just put him in a junkyard, and he gets to see how thrifty he is in that situation. Then even in the series, it's just like this nice down-home show. It's just like a nice little gem that you can watch whenever you feel like, you know what, I just kind of want to chill out, just have a good time, have fun. That's really what this entire series is about. It's about the jokes. It's about having a good time.
Yeah.
That's why I've loved it for so long. That's why I have all the movies. That's why I have the TV series.
Cool.
Because it's just enjoyable to the
all
heart.
right. So, all right, if you're going to rate it as a Tremors movie, out of all the Tremors movie, all right, rate it like that, and then I want you to rate it as just an entertainment film.
As a Tremors film, it's about a 4. But as an entertainment film, for what you're watching, I'd probably say a 6.
Okay. Okay. That's very interesting. Very telling. All right, Brian?
Okay, so I'm actually going to rate this sort of differently because I haven't seen all the Tremors movie. So as a film, I'm giving this a 3 out of 10. Now that's compared to all other films, you know, especially in the genre that it is. It's a 3 out of 10. But I'm giving this one a special title of junk food film because there are those films out there that are intentionally bad. Like we're talking Sharknado, we're talking
right.
You know, you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, exactly.
And as for a junk food film, this is probably a 9 out of 10. You gotta. It's something that if you really just don't care at all, you can turn it on and watch it and have fun. You know, get that tobacco pipe out there and and have a good time while watching it. It's not bad, and I had fun watching it with my girlfriend. My girlfriend did not have so much fun watching it. But I think it's definitely worth giving a watch to. And if I had a friend that I knew was into these types of movies, like cult classics, Evil Dead, Pootie Tang, even, you know.
Oh, Pootie Tang.
Yeah, Pootie Tang.
Yeah, man.
It's an apt comparison.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I would really suggest this to them.
All right. Well, I guess it's time for my deal. As a film recommendation wise, I can't endorse it above a 3. I think that's a good number, Brian. I'm sticking with that. As one of those popcorn movies, I give it a 5.5, man, 6. It's fun. You know, it's one of those fun, like you said, kick back, you know, inhale a little tree or whatever, you know, you're into. You know, if it's legal where you're at, you know, it would be a perfect, you know, get some munchies and just giggle your ass off kind of thing. It's fun.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, it's that kind of, you know, goofy dad joke fun time. And so at this point, we're going to look at next week. Brian and I, we took a poll, and really Brian did on the Twitter. And what did we come up with? We were looking at anime. We looked at 3 anime.
We're looking at animes next week.
Oh, you must be so excited, Brian.
I know. I love anime so much.
It's not like I hear you berate me for liking anime all the time.
You goddamn weeb. Yeah, no, we ended up the poll shows that the people want to see Sword Guy.
Sword Guy. Sword Guy. Yes, Sword Guy. And as a matter of fact, I've got DMs out to Viper Sword and to your boy Pat. To maybe join us next week and talk about it. Yeah, what we want to do, is like what we did with you, is get a resident weeb to kind of like guide us through, like, why this, why this is so popular. A person. You see, Brian and I both are in a similar box here. We didn't come into. We pretty much, I don't know about Brian, but I kind of rejected the whole anime thing just because everybody else was into it. And I'm one of those people, it's like if everybody's into it, I want to do something else. But, I found myself liking certain things, like Akira, et cetera, et cetera. And so, and when we go ahead.
The thing with it is just you got to find what you like.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And so, and I ended up loving Berserk, man. And I even loved the Castlevania. So, Brian, you got anything you want to throw in?
I do.
Throw it.
So I'm going to go ahead and put this link in the chat there. That is a link to our next poll for week 3 of June. That has, oh man, I just closed it, didn't I? Okay, so our choices are Outsider, The End of the Fucking World, which I had to put effing world because I didn't want the poll to get,
right,
shadow banned.
Well, you gotta review End of the Fucking World because that's like the super teenage cringe one.
Yeah. I know, right? And Mindhunters is also on that list. Mm-hmm. So go ahead and give it a vote. It's got 5 days left on it. Don't be the last person to do it and miss out before we have our next episode.
Sweet.
And as for anything else regarding shilling my channel or something, you know me, guys. I'm just shit posting. so if you enjoy that, go ahead and subscribe and like, and then leave me a horrible, nasty comment because I like those ones the best. And that's really about it. That's all I got.
Sweet. Tanuki, got anything you want to pimp?
No, just I make terrible cooking live streams and I say terrible things on Twitter.
Indeed. All right. Well, I've got your Twitter handle posted on there, and I'll get your YouTube information. I forgot to put it on there, so and I'll have it up on the description. So if people are watching this as they're recording, make sure and you subscribe to both Big Fat Brian and Wild Tanuki. I'm going on the given that you've already subscribed to me, and if you haven't, please do. I would really appreciate that. And on that note, I guess we're going to call it a day. And then remember, next week is Anime Week. So we're going to, hopefully I'll have it nailed down on who our resident weeb or weebs may be in the next couple of days. And so check Twitter for that. And on that note, on behalf of everybody else, this is IRATE Prostate saying another one's in the bucket. Take care, cyberspace cadets, and have a great week. All right.
Thug Life fam.
That's right.